I'm Kier from In Defense Of, a podcast member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the one you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready, because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 296 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. This is recorded live on Sunday, January 28th, 2018. I caught myself before I said 17 this time.
You did it! Victory is yours.
What does victory give me?
Nothing.
Well, so
At least we're all on the same page.
We did tease this last week, and I figure we have to follow up with it now, is that Willie was going to be out, but potentially around for a few minutes of this week's episode. Now, Willie, why don't you share with us your glorious adventures from yesterday?
Well, yesterday was the Winter Beer Olympics, and you'll talk to a bronze champion over here.
Bronze medal. So
That's what that's the second loser, right?
Yeah, shut up.
I think this
I got someone being creepy there.
I think this is the
You
first
don't
time I've seen the
win
HD
silver?
logo turn on Willie's camera since he joined the podcast.
You lose.
yeah,
gold.
pretty positive.
I got some good quality internets over here, namely my phone.
His phone does better than his home computer. That's so sad.
I think it's more the internet quality.
That's the exact. Yeah, but beer pong was not our strongest. Let's see, flip cup. That's also not our strongest. But we came in the solo competitions.
So
I don't
you
remember
chugged
what they
beer
were,
the best?
but they were... So what?
So that means you chugged beer the best in the solo competition?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that. I will say this. It was weird because I don't drink that often. You guys know that. But I got drunk, then back to sober, and then I got drunk again, and then back to sober within the span of like 5 hours.
I apologize to your liver if I were you.
Who wants to live forever?
So my question for you then is, how much practice will you be doing for next year's Beer Olympics? Are you going to be doing like any beer pong in your off season, getting less rusty and ready to go again?
Sorry, do I look like a frat boy to you, buddy?
Hey man, I don't know how much you care about getting the gold next year.
You know what? That is true. But I'm not that into it. And you guys saw the picture of the trophy. If you can magically make it appear at some point in time, go for it.
Yeah, I gotta find that again.
Chris lost it.
Let's hear.
It's gone
some.
forever. It's gone forever, Willie.
Oh no, I have it in there. I get to take it home with me.
No, it's the picture's gone forever. Not your trophy. The trophy will be gone when I come over and steal all your shit.
Right in there. It's in there. You can't. You trying to say you're gonna steal my shit?
No.
Maybe.
No.
Haven't you threatened a few of us about breaking our places and stealing stuff?
No.
As you know, I'm going to break into Chris's place and steal all his shit.
And while he's doing that,
Yeah,
I'm going to
please.
break into his place and steal all of his pop figures.
You can't carry all those. You need a big fucking U-Haul.
Jesus Christ, you guys love pop
200.
vinyl
I
way
hit
too much.
200 with the new one that showed up.
Jesus Christ!
Holy crap!
That is too many pop figures.
Yeah, I'm
I
honestly.
turned myself into a pickle, Morty! I'm Pickle Rick!
Jesus.
I'm honestly thinking about clearing out a lot of my Funko Pops and just sticking with some of the ones I really like a lot. And
We
getting
have
rid of the rest of
6.
them. Yeah, I've got more than that, but not 200.
Yeah, I got more than 6, but I'm like, I don't really care. Like, they were all right when they first came out, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. These are all generic things.
There is one that I'm probably going to get, and that's sexy Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
It's going to be
I saw that
only
they're
available
making
at
that.
Target.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's the laying down injured leg Jurassic Park sexy Jeff Goldblum they're doing. I want the
Might have to get
2-pack.
that one.
I want the 2-pack with the spitting dinosaur and Nedley or whatever his name is, where he has the
Nah,
like
okay.
poison on his face. Like that one looks cool.
What I care about is
There it
sexy
is.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, there you go, Willie. There is your trophy from the 2018 Winter Beer Olympics.
I
Congratulations.
mean, when those trophies came out, I was like, what? I looked at them and like, those are the trophies on the table? I was like, oh, those are great. I had a bronze ball, a silver ball, and a gold ball.
I would just like to congratulate you on your victory.
Well, that's going to be prominently up on the mantelpiece.
The mantelpiece that we can't see when you're at home.
I have a mantelpiece at home?
I just assume it's at home.
So who actually won? Who is the gold?
Shit, who did win? Oh, that's a funny story. A team of two. It was Phil and Kanan. Phil, after about 2 games, he was killing it. He went and passed out, and so another friend, Hannah, came by, and she kind of took over. She filled in for Phil.
So
and they
really,
just took the whole game.
I
So it
see
was a
controversy.
a 3-person team?
Phil earned that rest break.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Chris. I would say that's controversy.
You could be
Yeah.
a silver medalist right now.
Nah, it's not controversial at all. But
there's
I
a
think I'm going to
trophy
be going, guys.
Well, Willie, thank
Yeah,
you for
no,
coming to give the update. We're glad you survived, and congratulations on winning your trophy for the 2018.
I mean, I still got to make sure I get through the rest of the day. I mean, it's still time for that.
Today's round 2 of the Olympics, then. Well, good luck, sir. Good luck.
Take home the
Oh,
gold.
Do better.
Oh, are you telling me to go steal the gold trophy? Is that what you're telling me to do?
Obviously.
Yeah, why not?
All right, on that note, guys, I'll see you later.
Bye, Willie, and good luck. So, guys, that has been an exclusive report from the 2018 Winter Beer Olympics with bronze medalist Willie D. Nelson, who's still here.
Who can't figure out how to turn off his phone?
Whose phone provides better image quality than his PC. Which makes
And
me...
is so powerful it doesn't want to leave.
Basically.
Well, I'm glad we
Now
got
we're
to hear
stuck
from
with Willie
Willie,
forever.
and I'm glad that he survived the 2018 Winter Beer Olympics.
Clearance VG Rex says Die Harder, the Willie story. I mean, technically, if you put it as the Willie Nelson story, but you don't specify which Willie Nelson, it would still be a Willie Nelson story.
Just put D in parentheses. I don't know. Unlicensed
I mean,
use
like
term.
if you just don't specify which Willie Nelson, and I'm sure it'll get a lot of hits.
I'm sure it will. They'll probably think it's a pot Olympics then if you don't specify the Willie Nelson.
Yeah. Well, we could always try a hashtag and find out.
That sounds like a lead into disappointment.
That's true.
But if you want to go that route, Naki, I leave it in your capable hands. And while you're figuring out that hashtag, why don't we just roll into the news of the week?
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
So we kind of buried the lead for the news of the week, which is that our own Willie D. Nelson is a bronze medalist in the Olympics. But we do have some other news. For those that aren't familiar with News of the Week, is our part in the show to run down what we think is the most interesting, geeky, and or nerdy news to have happened in the last week. There's a lot of stuff out there, but Naki, why don't you kick us off first? What do you got for us, aside from potentially a hashtag?
Potential hashtag Willie Nelson the movie. But we'll figure that out. Willie Nelson, Winter Olympics. Winter Beer Olympics? Because we don't want to say Olympics. Anyways, my news of the week is that Twitch inks a deal to broadcast YouTube creators onto their channel stuff. So basically, I'm good at talking.
Channel stuff.
I am really good at talking. Obs. Jeez. So Twitch signed a deal with Disney to secure exclusive content from some of their creators, specifically the two that were brought up was Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. Don't really care for Jacksepticeye. He's fine. He does a lot of good, just not my style of watching YouTubers. I guess two others were as well, but I don't know them. Strawberry 17 and Luzu Games. Don't know who either of them are. But in any case, Markiplier had mentioned in one of his earlier videos this week that he had started using his Twitch account again. Or maybe it was earlier this month, I'm not even sure. But now what Twitch has done has signed these 4 creators on. They can now do something called Premiere, which enables them to schedule first viewing events. And they can then rerun their channel, so they can literally syndicate themselves on the Twitch platform. We were talking about this not too long ago with YouTube and the issues that they were having with adpocalypses, as well as the Logan loophole, as it was so politely called by game theorists, and the shit that has been going on there. So we knew that creators were going to start taking a new trip in a new direction. These 4 creators are still a part of Disney Digital. I don't believe Twitch was owned by Amazon, so I don't believe that they're any way connected other than that, but I don't know. I never delved into that tree of things. But so yeah, that's what's going on. We were wondering what was going to be next for the way of digital creation, and now Twitch is really dipping their hat into the ring by doing this, I think. So
that Amazon money kind of helps to make a lot of this happen. It kind of goes to show that maybe the whole YouTube gaming idea not really picking up as much as they expected it to, which I thought it had potential, but you had to fight Twitch, and it never could make a reasonable competition against Twitch, I don't think.
Yeah. And it's just, I know that there is a lot of issues with YouTube versus its creators, especially now with the basically killing off of the small channels of making any money and becoming popular, with their new way of, dealing with that sort of thing. It's interesting that they are signing a deal with Twitch, and I think, yeah, you're right. It's because YouTube gaming didn't really take off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Still, there's other platforms still available: Vimeo, Dailymotion, that sort of thing. So we'll see if one of those platforms starts gaining some momentum.
So I guess the question here...
The problem is...
Go ahead, Naki. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, just a show of hands of everyone who's here live and also in the chat room, who's actually used YouTube for viewing live gaming events? I mean, I think I've done it by accident because I clicked on a link to something and it took me to the YouTube gaming element of it. But I've never gone directly there to watch like gaming live streams like I have for Twitch or Mixer or something like that. Like, who would have thought that Microsoft's Mixer would arguably be the second place that I would go to look instead of YouTube?
Yeah, if I'm watching live gaming, it's generally on Twitch. I have used YouTube live streams for watching like charity streams, but I can't say that I'm like, oh, this person's playing this game, I want to watch this. But I can't say I did that through YouTube.
As I'm 40 and I don't understand the thing of watching other people play a game that I'd rather just play myself, I've never watched live streaming gaming on Twitch or YouTube. I watch Twitch to watch artists work. So, I mean, as long as it's, people doing, like tutorials and stuff, I can watch Twitch just as easy as watching YouTube. So it won't make a difference to me viewing.
That's fair. Makes sense. I mean, like, the kind of stuff I watch, though, on YouTube gaming, or, on Twitch or Mixer, isn't necessarily like, here's an FAQ on how to do it. Like, I really like watching Fortnite and PUBG and Friday the 13th, where it's like the big team battle kind of stuff, especially if you've got a good streamer that can actually carry on a conversation with his teammates or the chat room. That can be kind of fun. Do I sit there and stare at it for hours upon end? No, it's something I'll throw up on the TV while I'm working on a side project or something like that, because I don't have to watch it 100% of the time, but I can enjoy watching it. And I have a lot of fun watching content like that. And occasionally I might flip over and watch like Hearthstone because I don't know why. I'm a glutton for punishment, and I almost want to play that game again. I'm fighting it.
Sailor Poland has you beat. Anthony, he says, I'm 46 and I love watching other people play. Hell, I did it in arcades, crowding around the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat machines.
It was also a little different when that was the only place that those things existed in the world, and I only watched because I had Next and my quarter was up.
Oh man, I remember being a kid and all of us crowding around the X-Men arcade game, and we would be there until some combination of us beat that game, and it became kind of this group therapy session almost. Like, oh, you've almost got it, and it was a lot of fun, that kind of feeling. And maybe that's what people are able to recapture some with the Twitch, Mixer, YouTube gaming kind of thing, because if they've got a good turnout and a good chat room, you see a lot of people that kind of have that same kind of excitement that I had when I was a kid. Of course, you also have a bunch of a-holes that pop into those things from time to time, and if you're a small-time streamer and don't have a moderator or something like that, it's very tough to play the game and control your chat room, I think.
I think that's my problem, is that playing online stuff like, Battlefront and Battlefield and Halo and Call of Duty, because I've gone in and on teams, played all of those, and I usually spend so much time just muting the other people, even on my own team, that I've never found a Twitch or YouTube game streamer that I found entertaining enough to actually watch them play. I was like, I don't want to listen to the people I'm playing with. Why the hell would I want to listen to somebody else on a game that I'm not even in? It doesn't make sense for me.
And Sailor Poland did bring up a good point in there too. He said watching card gamers online is great because you see new cards and you see new strategies employed. And as I thought about it, I went, okay, yeah, I've done similar with like Fortnite and some other games where it's the big team battles to see different ideas of how to do it. And I guess
that would make sense if there was a game I was really into.
Yeah, I don't think I have the same passion for watching streamers play as many other people. And to be honest, I don't think I'm the target demographic for that. I think that a lot of the stuff you see streaming wise probably skews a little younger. This is just a gut impression. I've done no research on that. So please, if I'm wrong, let me know and please be kind about it.
No,
it's aimed at the millennial generation. Because the YouTube generation isn't something that really caught on with people that are in their 40s now, for of the majority. That's not who they're aiming at.
Technically, Naki and I are millennials.
Yeah, you guys are both millennials. I'm Gen X.
I don't even know where millennial starts and ends anymore.
Like 1981.
As soon as we started calling you shit.
Because I was called Gen Y for a minute.
Yeah, when you guys burned down Woodstock.
Or not Y. I don't know. X, Y. Yeah, it would be Y, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you were Gen Y.
And then, we did burn down Woodstock, didn't we?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was the first time I ever heard Gen Y come up. Because the Gen Xers writing the articles were like, we're not taking responsibility for this bullshit. Generation Y just burned down Woodstock.
I forgot about that Woodstock debacle.
I remember it bigly. That was back when MTV had music. MTV had music, and they reported the news. It was fucking crazy how weird MTV was back in the day. You would watch music, and then they would tell you about stuff happening in the world. Such a different
it was when Kurt Loder was still doing MTV News. And I remember watching, I think it was TRL, and then doing like a break to Woodstock and like just shit on fire. Like,
I still remember days when TRL had Metallica on. Like, I'm that old. Before 14-year-old girls and the brain power took over MTV.
Hey, I was one of those 14-year-old girls. Shut up.
Yeah. And they ruined TRL. It became top 10 boy band songs every fucking day.
Hey, NSYNC ruled. Justin and his ramen noodle hair was amazing.
It really was ramen noodly, wasn't it?
Clearance VG Rex says $7 for a bottle of water. I would burn that place down. And they did. They did it.
Sailor Poland, I still remember when they had music on MTV.
I'm pretty sure me and Sailor Poland are both old enough to remember Video Killed the Radio Star when they first played music on MTV. We're that motherfucking old. I still remember the first video they played on MTV.
When was that?
Oh, fuck. That was,
I want to say,
Google. 86? Yeah, my memory's fuzzy because, there's like a solid 20 years of drinking between me and that memory, so...
So it started in August 1st, 1981, it says, for MTV.
Oh, 81. Really? Was it that? Yep.
At 12:01
Wow.
a.m., August 1st, 1981, history is made when MTV, the first 24-hour video music channel, launched on our television sets. Quite ironic that the first song was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
So,
that's older than I thought it
this
was.
was actually a discussion that we had recently was why I tend to watch and listen to K-pop music more than I listen to American music, and I don't even watch like American music videos anymore. And a lot of it has to do with that K-pop ones, like they throw all their money at their music videos. And I miss watching, like, there was MTV2, which actually did play music videos when MTV stopped playing music videos. I used to just have that on in the background like all the time, and it was great. I miss music videos, and I miss people putting work into their music videos, and you don't see that so much anymore. And I could be wrong because I'm an old lady and I don't stay in touch with modern pop music in the Americas, but I mean, maybe somebody does. I hear Ed Sheeran does, but
yeah,
I'm
YouTube stars.
There's certain bands that do, but it's not like it used to be where the movie studio would throw $2 million at a video because they knew that was going to get them record sales in the end. So now it's more, it has to be the artist pushing for it, hoping that it's going to drive people to listen to their Spotify playlist. Like, so it's a very, very different system than what was, in the 80s and 90s.
Honestly, where you see some of the most creative stuff when it comes to music videos and short film stuff right now, we were just talking about it. It's YouTube. It's this online kind of stuff. I mean, there's some folks that do like, and I'm blanking on the artist name. There's a few different out there that do like violin covers of Zelda themes, video game themes, all sorts of stuff. And if you see some of the videos they've done, it's insane production value to that. You go, man, this is better than half the music videos I remember seeing on TV as a kid. Mostly because a lot of these tools.
Sterling.
That's it. Lindsay Sterling's one of them. And there's another one whose name I'm completely blanking out on. I've actually owned some of their music because I enjoy it, but that's where you see a lot of the creativity.
Well,
anymore.
I mean, there's. Yeah. Well, and boyfriend watches this one guy who does the drums to the beat of TV shows. Like, he just did one that I watched with him the other day from Boomhauer from King of the Hill, and he's playing the drums to Boomhauer's rhythms. It was actually really interesting.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I'll have boyfriend send me the link so that I can put it up. But there's some really creative stuff out there, and it's a shame that YouTube is a platform that was meant for creators and is now struggling to keep those creators. And that's why I was interested in this Twitch deal. That, four of their biggest creators, well, two that I know are their biggest creators, I don't know the other two, that are moving to Twitch as well as still staying on YouTube, but we'll see how long, depending on how Twitch works. We'll see what happens. There might be a bridge here that happens. So
we were talking about the creative violin players. It was Lindsay Sterling was one. The other is Taylor Davis. That was the other one. I forgot. I had to go and pull that out of my YouTube, and she's done a bunch of covers for Legend of Zelda, Game of Thrones, all sorts of stuff, and incredibly talented. And some of the stuff that they shoot for that is just really cool. But I mean,
as it said, all these platforms created for original content creation for creators to hopefully make money and expand their audience, and then they go, oh wait, we can make money off these people. Fuck them. As soon as it becomes something they can really make money off of, fuck them, take all their money. Like, goddamn.
Clarence VG back through it in the
YouTube, everybody.
Also, I mean, it's to put out creations like that and stuff like that. If you're working a full-time job on top of it, like, you want to get paid because you're putting a lot of hours that you're not getting paid for into it. So don't blame them.
Well, remember, this is part of what we've talked about.
Everybody deserves to get paid for their art.
Exactly.
No, I'm saying, the problem is, the companies like YouTube that say, oh, we're not making enough money off of these people who are creating everything on our channel. Like, goddamn.
It's a double-edged sword, though,
Chris,
because they spent a lot of money to develop YouTube, and it was probably years upon years before it became financially successful, before they got a lawsuit hell. So I don't necessarily begrudge them making money off of it. I begrudge some of the policies they put in place to try and do it, I think, is more of the issue there.
Yeah. Well, it's just I understand where they're saying we don't want to pay people who don't make X amount. You know, if you don't have, because that $36 for every 200 channels that make $36 a month, like that's still a bleed out. It's not a lot of bleed out, but it's still a lot. Or those who make like $50, it's still considered a bleed from an accounting standpoint. Now YouTube is something, I believe, since they're owned by Disney now and Google.
YouTube isn't owned by Disney.
Or they have a stock. There's something in YouTube that Disney
they
has
monetize through it, but YouTube's wholly owned by Google, as far as I know.
Oh, okay. I just know that there's a lot of money in YouTube, and so
Yes.
like they can't afford it, I would think, unless they're really bleeding out somewhere. But it's not like I have a hands on their books or anything like that to know.
I mean, let's remember they Google bought YouTube in November 2006 for $1.65 billion, and everyone laughed. When how are they going to make money off of this? Crazy, crazy.
Just kidding. LLJK.
Now, if you want to make us YouTube famous, feel free to go to youtube.com/GonnaGeek, click on that subscribe button, and also click on the notify button, and you'll know anytime someone from Gonna Geek goes live. So make us YouTube famous, guys. Yeah.
Click the bell. Be on the notification squad. Do the thing. We did it, guys. Promos.
Apparently, Sailor Poland does not agree with you, Naki.
No, that happens. Sailor Poland doesn't agree with me a lot of the time, I think. So it's fine. It's fine. I just accept my fate.
Okay, before we get off this point, because it's a good point, the chat room's bringing us some good stuff. Steven had also brought up, there's also the question of whether or not YouTube contributes to success, i.e. would someone posting the content elsewhere be as popular for some of these creators? There's a certain amount of exposure factor they're entitled to profit on. Absolutely, that's part of the thing, is YouTube's become such a behemoth now that people just kind of default go there for video content, aside from like your Netflixes and your Hulus. So for lack of a better term, more amateur video content versus like the highly polished Hollywood stuff, but even some of the stuff on YouTube is ridiculously polished.
Yeah. And I think, well, I mean, if you think about it, the chick from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, she's from YouTube. There has been movies now, well, including Logan Paul's movie. I don't know what kind of success that was, but I mean, that was, that's a YouTube movie. Rooster Teeth streams from YouTube, and that they've got that anime that everybody's always talking about that I keep getting sent to, and then I never remember to actually watch. My bad, y'all. And every movie or production company like throws their trailers on YouTube the second it comes out, because everybody knows that if I miss it live, I can go and watch it on YouTube 5 minutes later. So.
Yeah, no joke. They're always like, tune in to Monday Night Football tonight to see the exclusive premiere of the Avengers Infinity War trailer. I'm like, yes, screw that. I'll wait until the Marvel account tweets it, and I'll go directly to YouTube, and it'll be in 4K probably, and I can watch it on loop as many times as I want. Problem solved.
Yeah, it's fine. Like it's just one of those things where it's like I don't watch live TV, because I know it's gonna that, and I don't like watching commercials. But I mean, if it's gonna be a trailer I want to see, it's gonna be on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Think how common that is in our vernacular now. You're like, I'll just catch that on YouTube, and everyone knows what you mean. I remember being in college in like 2005 and saying, hey, did you see this cool Halo video that Microsoft or whatever put up on YouTube? And a guy go, YouTube, what the hell is that? And I was like, I can't even imagine that in today's world. Someone would be like, what's YouTube?
Hey, that'll be my next t-shirt. I'm so old I watch live TV.
Yeah,
I mean, YouTube definitely still has the branding. That's the thing. Like, they've got brand name, everything.
Yeah. YouTube is now jet ski. Only one company actually makes jet skis, but all jet skis are referred to as jet skis.
Yep. Otherwise, they're just wave riders or
Sea-Doos.
Is that what they're? Sea-Doos.
Every different company has to have a different name for them because Kawasaki owns the term jet ski. Just like Kleenex is the only actual Kleenex, but we refer to all nose tissue as Kleenex.
Facial tissue.
Okay,
Yep.
guys, I misspoke. There is someone who doesn't know of the YouTube when Stephen John Drew only knows of Bing videos.
And that's our president, guys. We did it.
In all fairness, Canada is what, like 22 years behind, America normally. So they're catching up.
I mean, they've got Robin Sparkles. Oh, throwback reference for How I Met Your Mother. Anyways,
Let's all go to the mall. Had to be done.
so that was my news of the week that took 39 minutes. Should we do that?
Sure, let's translate into my news. Instead of talking about a big company like Google, let's talk about a big company like Microsoft. Because, hey, why not talk about all the big companies today? Earlier this week, there was some news that came out about upgrades to Microsoft's Game Pass service, a subscription service. Are you guys familiar with what Game Pass is?
I don't know, but by upgrades, do you mean downgrades?
I do not mean downgrades. So,
Because usually anytime someone mentions a Microsoft upgrade, it ends up becoming some type of downgrade.
okay, that's fair. So for those that aren't familiar, sorry, I hit the wrong button there. So for those that aren't familiar, Xbox Game Pass is a service that launched back in June, provides access to more than 100 Xbox One and the Xbox 360 games for $9.99 a month. Basically, it's all you can eat out of a bunch of video games that Microsoft has the rights to for $10. You click on it, say, I'm a Game Pass subscriber, let me download it, let me play it, I'm done with it. They also launched a 6-month subscription for $60 for folks. Well, here's where things get interesting. Microsoft announced this week they're planning to bring its own exclusive Xbox games published through Microsoft Studios to the company's Xbox Game Pass subscription service. This includes future games such as Sea of Thieves, any future Halo games, Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, any Halo games. All of these games will arrive on Game Pass the day they release out to the public. So if you're a Game Pass subscriber, instead of paying $60 to go buy Halo 6, you just log into your Game Pass account and say, I want to play that, and it downloads it to your hard drive. Any Microsoft original game now you play on launch day as part of your Game Pass subscription. It's pretty damn cool.
So let me see if I get this right. So Game Pass is basically like a digital GameFly embedded in Xbox?
Yeah, embedded into the Xbox. If you're a Game Pass subscriber, there's a list of 100 to 150 games on there right now that you can play as part of that subscription. And you can play as much or as little as you want, as long as you're a subscriber. And now Microsoft is going to take all of their brand new games they have coming out this year that are exclusive to Microsoft Studios or put out through Microsoft Studios and put them on Game Pass. It's a power
You're paying
move.
for 2 subscriptions inside of one gaming system.
Well, you pay for your Xbox Live, and then Game Pass is a separate thing, yes.
Wow.
Well, PlayStation does the same thing.
Yeah. This is similar to PlayStation Plus. The difference here is Microsoft has said, yeah, we don't care about how many numbers we sell on these games that we own. We just want people to use our services. So, I mean, you start to do the math. Sea of Thieves is going to be $60 when it comes out. It's like an online MMO. It's an MMO RPG, basically. You get to be a pirate and sail around the ocean and team up with your friends and allies to do all sorts of stuff. Arguably, they want to be like Destiny, where you play for months at a time and things like that. So instead of paying $60, just subscribe to Game Pass. And for $10 a month, you get to play. And then you get to pick up things like Halo when it comes out, the new Gears of War games and things like that. If they have a lot of first-party games coming out over the next few years, this is a power move. There's a lot of folks who are going to be like, yeah, if I buy Game Pass for $60 a year, it basically pays for itself if I play 2 Microsoft originals.
So yeah, if they can launch 2 games a year, then yeah, it's basically all the rest of it's, you're paying for those 2 games and the rest is free. That's not bad.
It's certainly, I mean, it's only their own games, so it's not like they're telling a publisher, yeah, you're not going to get paid for this. It's their own stuff, so it doesn't hinder them as much there. But I'm curious to see how that'll impact sales numbers on games like Sea of Thieves when that comes out. And they did say, where's the quote I'm trying to find? Major Nelson, who is Larry Herb, he's one of the big Xbox PR guys you see online, said, in other words, the Xbox One exclusives will be a permanent part of Game Pass moving forward. And I had seen something there that the games that also were Windows Anywhere games through there, so like Gears of War 4 and things like that, if you have a Game Pass subscription, you'll also be able to play the PC version as well. So it's an interesting move. I'm wondering how well it'll do over the next 2 or 3 years or so, and whether that makes an impact on things, because it's a power move.
Yeah.
Sailor Poland says the publishers have been trying to kill GameStop for years. This could be the thing that does it. And I'm kind of agreeing there. I mean, they've been trying to get rid of that whole resale thing for a long time. So
I think GameStop's done their best
could...
job of trying to kill themselves by giving you $4 back on an $80 game that's 2 days old.
Yeah.
I don't know that this is going to be what kills GameStop, because you're only talking, remember, the joke here is Microsoft's killed off a bunch of their exclusives. They have like 4 or 5 exclusives through Microsoft Studios coming out over the next couple of years, I want to say. It's probably a few more than that. But I don't think that resale misses on Sea of Thieves, upcoming Halo games, and things like that is going to be what breaks GameStop. I think what would break GameStop is if, say, Sony and Nintendo saw, holy crap, Microsoft's doing real well with this. This is actually helping to sell additional Xbox consoles. We need to do something similar. Imagine if you had some service like this on your Switch or your Wii U or something like that said, yeah, you subscribe for $10 a month, you get access to 200 old Nintendo games that range from anything from, say, the SNES all the way up to the current gen stuff. That would be pretty cool, and it gets people playing back catalogs too.
Yeah, and if Sony did that with the back PlayStation library, like, that's a lot of games.
Yeah, because remember, we all said, and I think we even said it on the show at one point, that when Microsoft and Sony started giving away games each month with Games with Gold and with PlayStation Plus, oh, that's really going to hurt. That's really going to hurt GameStop and a bunch of the game retailers. Well, not really, because the games they're giving away are generally 1 to 3 years old, it seems like.
Yeah, they weren't giving away anything that was driving people to the stores.
I mean, yeah, this is the big change here. They're giving away brand new games, basically, with this service as part of it. And, you know, I was not super stoked about Sea of Thieves after playing the alpha, and that's all I can say about it legally, is that I thought it was lacking a little bit, and I need to play the beta some. This has me curious. I was going, you know what? I might pick up Game Pass for a couple months, and I'll try out Sea of Thieves, and I'll try out some of these other games in the back catalog that I haven't had a chance to play.
And if Sony had enough exclusives, like, this could be something that would work for them as well. But I mean, other than Spider-Man, I don't know what else Sony even has coming out that they're helping actually build.
I think the difference would be is if you can get a publisher on board to say, yes, we want to put our stuff out through the service like this. Because, like I said at the top of the story, Microsoft can get away with it because it's stuff coming from their own studios. It's not like they're going to EA and saying, hey, we want Anthem to be part of Game Pass so that people can play it on day one. I'm sure if you threw enough cash at EA, they would think about it, but probably not. That would be the bigger thing, is if any of the folks out there, be it Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, the upcoming Atari box or some crap like that, is able to come out to a third-party publisher and say, we want day and date release on our subscription service. That would be a huge move. Now, do I see it happening? Absolutely not, because if I'm Activision, I'm making the next Call of Duty, I see that cannibalizing my sales a lot. Or like Sailor Poland says, EA will just make their own again, because there is the EA Access stuff you can do on Xbox.
True. I'm just thinking, if Sony said that they were going to do this service and they bought Insomniac and they said the new Spider-Man and all further Insomniac games would be on that service, I would probably sign up for it.
I think God of War is going to be PS4 exclusive. Yeah, it looks like it.
It is an exclusive, but I don't know that it is made by a Sony studio.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know if it is either, but I'm like trying to think of anything that could be worth it for the PS4. Like,
yeah, see, because I think Spider-Man's the only game that Sony's actually helping make.
I don't know. I'll defer to our chat room on that one, who's probably a little better versed on that than I am.
Sailor Poland says EA would make their own again, and so would Ubisoft. Which you're not wrong.
EA's would suck.
Guess who doesn't play EA games?
I don't play many anymore. But EA Access was an interesting move on their part, too, because it actually gave you discounted EA games if you went and bought them, if you were part of the subscription service. And you got some stuff for free and some stuff early access. Like if you were an EA member, I don't remember the games, but there were some that you were like, you get to play the game a week earlier than everyone else, which makes a difference if you're a grinder and want to make sure you can knock the piss out of everyone you play.
Okay, chat room does say that God of War is Sony through and through.
Okay. Well, then theoretically, if Sony wanted to make a similar move, it would be, hey, whatever their equivalent to Game Pass is, we're going to have God of War there on the day it launches. And you know what? If I had a PlayStation, that would probably have me convinced, because some of these games, if you pay $60 for it and beat it in like 2 months, I don't know that you necessarily feel like
Yeah.
you got your bang for your buck when you could just subscribe to Game Pass for 2 months, beat it, and be like, oh, I'm out $20. Okay, cool.
See, the God of War games are fun too. Like that's actually
Well, the new one's gonna be weird because now he's a Viking.
he's a dad. It has to do with being a dad now. So
Didn't
We'll
it always
see.
have to do with being a dad? It's just that
I
all
think-
the kids were dead before.
yeah, something like that. Now I think the son's alive or something like that. But
Oh, so he's not dead yet.
yeah, not dead kid. Not dead kid. But yeah, I think God of War, those games are they're hack and slash good time. So
That's true. I bought the package of the God of War, whatever, on my PS4, where you have I think it's the first 3 games altogether.
yeah,
It's
it's
fun
a good
stuff.
time. It's a good time.
Mash some buttons and spill some blood.
Yep. So that is my news. Like we were talking about big companies. Let's let Anthony wrap things up with his news.
Is it going to be Marvel or DC? Marvel or DC?
This time, neither. We're going to
Dang.
talk about that. Did you guys ever watch Key and Peele?
Bits and pieces. I haven't seen a ton, but some.
I've seen a bunch of the sketches online, but I haven't sat down and watched it. No.
It is one of my favorite shows. I got introduced to it with the what was it? It was the college football player announcements, where the players would introduce themselves, and Key and Peele would literally play like 15 different players on each different team, and they kept coming up with the weirdest names, ways to pronounce them, and crazy hairdos and beard configurations, so that inside of one sketch they would each play like 10 different characters. It was amazing. But the goofy kid from Key and Peele, Jordan Peele, had a movie come out in February that blew people's fucking socks off because it was his directorial debut. It was a horror film, and it was probably the most socially relevant film in the last decade.
And that
Get
made
Out.
it even more horrific.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for those that haven't seen Get Out, it was amazing. It shocked a lot of people. And, it had a lot of buzz going into the award season, but a lot of people figured, well, it's horror. It's not going to get nominated for half the categories right there. People got angry at the Golden Globes because it was nominated in the comedy and musical category, because Golden Globes are fucking stupid and won't put horror films in the drama category. And so, just like the Martian was a comedy, they listed Get Out as a comedy, which pissed a lot of people off. But there was a lot of good news this week because Get Out got 4 Oscar nominations. So whether or not it wins anything, I believe it's the first time an African-American director's directorial debut has been nominated in the 3 big categories. That's the first time ever. And he's only, I think they said, the 3rd or 4th director to get an Oscar nom on their first movie. So it's already breaking records, which is fantastic. But also, it's nominated for Best Picture. What was it? Best Picture, Best Screenplay, Best Director, and then is it Best Actor for the main guy?
I think so.
Yeah, but yeah, it's utterly fantastic that it got the nods for the big categories, and it was a small budget horror film that nobody thought was going to do good. It's passed 254 million worldwide. It's got a 99% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which, whether you like Rotten Tomatoes or not, that's amazing. It's a horror film that sits at 99% approval by the critics. That's insane. And yeah, there's now, they can go up to 10 movies now in the Best Picture. But the fact that a first-time director, the first movie he's written, the first movie he's directed, it's a horror film, it's social commentary, and it made it to the Best Picture category. That's amazing. Whether it wins anything or not, like, it's already just one of the coolest things ever. So, huge props to Jordan Peele, and it's just awesome this is happening, because now after this, he's also going to go create the new Twilight Zone. So Jordan Peele's fucking fantastic. This kid kicks ass. He's awesome. I can't wait to see his Twilight Zone.
I'm really excited. I loved Get Out. I talked about it when I first watched it, like 6 months ago. I didn't see it in theaters. I did rent it to watch it. And that was...
And it is going back into theaters pre-Oscars if you want to see it again.
I recommend it. I am debating doing that, going in and seeing it in theaters. The problem is for me is that movies is just an expensive luxury that I don't use very often. I think
it is one that's very different if you see it with an audience, though.
Yeah.
Especially if it's people that haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Because I was in an audience on the first run, and people were shocked when certain scenes happened. Like, it freaked people out.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't want to spoil anything. Just if you haven't seen it, highly recommend to see it. And I'm not even like, I don't care about awards. I don't, all that stuff to me is just like a lot of people like slapping each other on the back, being like, "Good job, you did it." So it's just like, it doesn't, to me, like the awards don't mean much of anything, but it is something that I definitely support. And I love Jordan Peele. His wife is Chelsea Peretti, who is on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is also one of my favorite shows. So,
yeah.
Well, yeah, and the award shows themselves, it's like, yeah, it's usually, I mean, because they had the big contention about, Oscars so white. What was it, last year or the year before? So it's the fact that, this is a full-on black horror film. It's a black writer, black director, black stars. Like, that's, the fact that that's getting nominated, I think that's the important part. Whether or not they win the award, it's Hollywood congratulatory crap. It's the fact that, yeah, I found here it's $4.5 million is what it costs for them to make it, and it's sitting at 175 domestic already with another 78 foreign. So a movie that Jordan Peele had a production budget of 4.5 million, maybe double that for advertising at the most, because it did have some trailers, it did have some commercials. So, on the high end, it cost $10 million total, and it made $250 million worldwide. And then now he gets to slap the label, at least Oscar nominated on it for his first time. That's insane. Like, that's so cool. And yeah, really he's the third filmmaker to receive directing, writing, and Best Picture noms for his feature directorial debut. So it's only the third time this has ever happened. And this is the goofy kid that made Key and Peele, and then made Keanu. Nobody would have thought that Get Out was going to do anything, much less do this. Like, this is so cool.
Yeah, it was a really good movie. I hadn't paid much attention to it until you guys started telling me, "Oh, you need to watch it," and I watched it and went, "Damn, this was really good."
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I don't really follow hype trains that much. Like, as we were talking about in the pre-show, I still haven't seen Logan. Don't care. I didn't see The Fifth Element until earlier this year. I didn't see Blade Runner until earlier this year. And then I saw the sequel like the day after, and I still don't understand.
Why did you do that? I heard
that's one way to not watch that. Watch it the next day.
Well, we saw it because it was our anniversary. We went to the drive-in, and it was a double feature. So the first thing we saw was Kingsman Golden Circle, which was okay. And then it was like a sequel weekend. And then the next sequel was Blade Runner.
That's a long time at the drive-in.
Yeah, they should have reversed those so that after you fell asleep during Blade Runner, you could wake up to the Golden Circle.
I mean, I will give Blade Runner that it's pretty.
Well, of course it's pretty. It's Blade Runner. Even people that didn't like the first Blade Runner still will tell you it's pretty. Then again, Zack Snyder films are fucking pretty. Doesn't mean they're great films.
I mean, and that's the thing, is that Sucker Punch was a really beautifully shot movie.
Sucker Punch is gorgeous.
It's
just gorgeous
sucked.
garbage. But it's gorgeous. I said Zack Snyder just needs to be a director of cinematography. Just don't let him be in charge. Just let him be in charge of the shots.
Oh, my bad. It was Blade Runner first and then Kingsman. My bad.
Okay, that makes more sense. Because yeah, why would they let people watch Kingsman then go to sleep?
Nap time. I think I still dozed either way during Blade Runner.
I watched it and I enjoyed it and I loved the first one, but yeah, I mean it was the new one was so long. I think I watched it over 3 nights. Like, I kept just pausing it and going to bed. It's like, nope, falling asleep. I'll start again tomorrow.
That's our ringing endorsement right there from the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. So, guys, that is going to wrap up our news of the week. As we wrap things up, we'd like to remind you that the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast is, in fact, part of a network of shows that you can find over at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. There's 20 plus, probably closer to 25 plus. I need to do an accurate count. different shows on the network.
Naki, get ready.
I'm trying.
That cover a variety of different geeky and nerdy podcasts. We've got things that are as focused as just on one specific television show, and then other things that are about general geek culture. And if you haven't noticed right now, I'm killing time because Naki's pulling up the promo read document as I talk.
I know there was a reason I kept the show notes up, but I closed them like 5 minutes ago, and I couldn't remember why I had them still up.
Because Willie's not here. Naki has to read.
Well, this is just kind of funny because Willie just kind of took this from Naki. It used to be Naki's bit to do this. Then Willie's like, it's mine.
Yeah, Willie took it from me because he says he's the better Naki. And in this case, he's not wrong. All right. So, this week's promo is for Just One More Fix. Episode 69, Broke Gaming. For hashtag new GM month, Lacey and James... Chris, stop moving around. You keep covering up the words. Thank you.
This is a professional podcast.
For hashtag new GM month, Lacey and James try to lower the barrier to entry to try tabletop RPGs. If you don't have a lot of disposable income or don't want to invest a lot of money into a new hobby, we are here to help. Back to you, Chris. Sorry.
Thank you. I was waiting for it because I'm not allowed to talk until someone says
I'm
back
not
to you.
the good Naki. Willie is apparently the good Naki.
Well, I should really take that quote out and save it for later, but I don't want him to hang that over your head forever, so I'm not going to.
I was gonna say he doesn't listen to this show. He's never gonna hear it. He's never gonna hear it. He doesn't listen to our show.
But you guys heard it here first. Willie Nelson's the better Naki.
Shh! Don't tell him.
Yeah, which it's sad that Naki said it.
That podcast was Just One More Fix, as the chat room's asking for it. You can find them over at GonnaGeek.com. Just click on the network button. So, guys, that is going to wrap us up. And as we wrap up the show, longtime listeners and viewers, you probably know we do a little bit called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and nerdy things we've been getting into, so that maybe, just maybe, you might want to give it a try yourself. So, Anthony, kick us off. What have you been getting into, sir?
I've been getting into the good Star Trek. I finally got all caught up on Orville, which, yeah, I have to say I think it's now my favorite Star Trek. That is a fucking fantastic show. It is so good. Yeah, I got a Hulu finally working. I had been having Blu-ray player problems because they weren't updating the app, so I got the Hulu app running on my PlayStation 4, and goddamn, it's pretty. It's awesome. It keeps track of the episodes that you're watching, and if you go to your My Stuff settings, it literally lists every show that you've watched, and it'll show you if you're caught up or if there's a new episode. So, like, the new episodes just pop up to the top. Like, it's a really cool way how they have the queue set up on PlayStation 4. I'll be watching my Hulu on there from now on, and I'm loving it. I'm all caught up on The Gifted, all the geek shows, Flash, and Arrow with their craziness. Arrow's going batshit nuts again. A computer hacker confounding a guy with a bow and arrow. It's a crazy ass show.
Wait, did he become a computer hacker now? Is he now better than Felicity?
He's fighting Ben from Lost, who is now the world's best computer hacker, according to Arrow. And it's as funny as it is convoluted and ridiculous.
It's mostly just ridiculous and dumb now.
Yeah, I love it. I don't watch Arrow for great Oscar-worthy storytelling. I watch Arrow because it's Arrow.
Like I said, I stopped watching when he punched a shark in the face.
Oh, that's the reason to start. That's the reason to start watching.
Nope. Yeah, Naki, don't feel bad. It's not that good this season. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm all caught up on those. I've been watching. I watch Supernatural when I go donate plasma, so I've made it to the second season finale, which is awesome. That within the first 2 seasons of that show, knowing now that they're on like season 14, I think, is the one that's going live on CW right now. By the end of the second season, every main character has died at least once and been resurrected. Like, by the end of the second season. This show is fantastic and how ridiculous it is. If you think Arrow's ridiculous, Supernatural is awesome. But yeah, I'm enjoying the hell out of that. Kicking butt in the comic league. I might be catching up a little bit in the fantasy movie league with this weekend's results. I'm in second place right now for this weekend which this weekend's crazy because we have one person at 26 million and everybody else is in between 65 million and 68 million. We have 6 people in a $3 million span, which on this league is ridiculously small. But yeah, it's really cool, and it's coming down to we're past the halfway point, so I'm in second for this weekend and third overall, so there's a chance I can catch up. I'm not out of it yet. Goddamn Cajun Sean and Lobster keep having crazy weeks. But Lobster put all his money on the post this weekend, so haha, he's screwed.
Yeah, it's probably not a smart decision.
No. And then one of my fellow Fantasy Comic League partners last season in Midtown, and now the new leader of Chris's division, Faye, had kept informing me repeatedly that I needed to read the all-new Wolverine because I had read her in the original Nick's books when they introduced X-23. I had all those way back in the 90s, and then I had read Avengers Academy where Laura had been brought in, but I hadn't really read anything past that. And I got the first 2 trades through Amazon and liked them enough that when I went to go pick up my comics this week, I actually grabbed trades 3 and 4. So I'm now 3 trades into the all-new Wolverine. And it's weird because I see where I saw some people's complaints that she went from being like an almost, non-feeling, no character having robot to kind of teen girl with Wolverine's powers. Like there was a kind of a huge jump in how much of a character she actually had as a character. But it's a real cool story. It's a real fun comic in the way I think it's Tom Taylor, I think, is the new writer. The way he handles the character is really cool, and the way that they've dealt with basically throwing her back into old Wolverine stories. So like they're retelling stories that Wolverine was in, but telling them now with Laura as the main character, like Enemy of the State. And it's just been some really fun stuff. The introduction of Gabby, who I guess is eventually called Honey Badger on the new X-Men Red book, is kind of weird because it's the whole clone of a clone of a clone thing. Sorry. For those that don't know, Laura Kenny X-23 is a clone of Wolverine, just made female, and Gabby is a clone of Laura. So she's a photocopy of a photocopy. And as soon as I read that that's who she was as a character, it made me think of Multiplicity and the guy that like licked the pizza. So I'm like, I like pizza. I was like, so are we going to have like a slightly deranged itty bitty Wolverine? And that's kind of what she is, but played up to more be like a fun character. So it's funny as well as creepy, and she's not like licking pizzas. But yeah, it's a fun comic. I got the first 4 trades. I'm about to read the 4th one, and I added it to my pull list. And they just added on the promos for, is it this summer? I want to say it starts in either June or July. It's not in previews yet, but it's coming out. Tom Taylor announced that they're doing a jump to the future where they're finally doing a utopian story for an X-Men book, which is weird. So instead of an Old Man Logan in a world where everybody was dead,
Logan's a good word.
yeah. So instead of doing like Old Man Logan, where it was a dystopian future where the villains had killed everybody, they're going to do Old Man Laura in a utopian future where the one promo piece of art is Wolverine in this crazy Tron-looking suit in this apparently perfect, fantastic future where the X-Men have made the world a better place. So I'm really excited to see the first utopian X-Men future, because I don't think any fucking writer has done that yet. So yeah, for just that alone, I think all new Wolverine's going to be a fun book to read this upcoming year. But that's what I've been getting into.
Cool. I'm going to go next. We'll let Naki close things out. I have almost finished the Battlestar Galactica rewatch because my fiance had never seen it. So we are just past the season 4 finale. Yes. Mid-season.
Wait, she hadn't seen what?
Kidding.
Huh?
She hadn't seen Battlestar Galactica.
No.
Oh, wow. That's...
Yeah, so
I can't believe he let her in the house.
Yeah, we literally just got past the mid-season finale of season 4 where I won't spoil it, where there's a big twist and you think, holy shit, what are they going to do for the last half of this season? And then it flips everything on its head and gets super dark. So yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. Other stuff I've been getting into.
Fun is a word.
Yeah. Because I need more games in my back catalog, I picked up another one because you guys know you can buy discount games at Red Boxes from time to time. So I picked up Final Fantasy 15 for $5 out of the Red Box.
My brother really enjoyed that game.
I have my doubts based off of Cody's review that he'd done on Game Life Balance US. But for $5, I said, you know what? I'll play it, and if I don't like it, I'm out $5. And then just for S&Gs, I went and looked where I could take it to GameStop. For price-wise, they'd give me $8 cash for it if I took it back to them. So
there you go.
You know, worst comes
Make
to
a
worst.
profit, baby. Profit, profit, profit.
Exactly. And then finally, I picked up, because again, I have a problem with my back catalog getting too huge. Microsoft had a bunch of Xbox games on sale, physical copies, in their store. So I bought a game that I'd seen on Steam but not bought before called This Is the Police. And it's surprisingly fun. It's kind of quasi-RPG. It's mostly a storytelling game, but you play the 60-year-old police chief who is going to be retiring in 6 months. And his career has been pretty straight-laced. He's been a good guy. But at the end of his career, he wants to make $500,000 before he leaves. And through a series of events, he falls in bed with the mafia. And you have to pretty much balance the resources of the police to continue taking care of crime around the city. But you also have to do favors for the mafia so that they keep paying you, or they don't kill you, or that your internal affairs guys don't catch you. So as the game unlocks more and more, you can like use the mafia to kill your cops who are about to testify on you and things like that. I'm only 21 days into the 180-day story that's part of this, but it's surprisingly fun. It is a game that did come out for PC first, though, so you can probably find it on Steam. I don't know what the prices were, but for $5, I figured I'd give it a try on my Xbox because I'd seen some stuff on it before, and I'm really enjoying This Is the Police. It's not like a ton of work you have to do to play the game. You kind of sit back and relax and enjoy, and then you have to make some decisions on what you're actually going to have your police officers do in your town. And there are a few moments I've played the game and went, oh man, I probably shouldn't have made that decision, but I'm greedy and I want to get money. We'll see what happens. So give it a chance if you're looking for an interesting storytelling kind of game and resource balancing on top of that. I don't even know the right way to categorize it appropriately. I just like it.
That sounds weird. Is there any game that like the gameplay like that you could compare it to?
No, that's the problem. Is I have no way to really compare it. I think the easiest way to do it is to watch the trailer they put out for the game. It's an interesting game. Maybe I'll play some of it on Twitch or Mixer and put it out there so I can play it out. I guess that might be close. Sailor Poland says, have you played Papers, Please? It's similar in how they mix storytelling with gameplay decisions and things like that. And it's kind of you just click buttons and do things. But it's not quite like Papers, Please. I don't have a great way to categorize. I've really enjoyed it for $5. It's called This Is the Police is the name of this game. And I think, at least on Xbox, it's quoted to THQ Nordic as being the publishers. I'll see if I can't find a link. I'll drop it in the chat room. But Naki, what have you been getting into?
This week has been a gaming week for me. So because boyfriend and my brother were streaming off of off of my 360, my 360 was actually hooked up. So I've been playing Puzzle Fighter Turbo HD Remix 2, which I love that game. It's basically Puzzle Fighter, it's Street Fighter meets Tetris, and it's really addicting. And we have a lot of playing time at that. Also have been playing Dream Daddy, a daddy dating simulator. I am almost done dating all the daddies, and now I get to choose of which daddy I will be in a relationship with. I'm leaning towards Brian, but I'm not sure. Also, I sent a picture of myself as the daddy to the chat last night, to our ATGN chat, and I said I am the best daddy and have creeped out Anthony forever.
Extremely creepy.
On top of that, I've also been playing Pokemon on my bus rides to and from work because I have like 40 minutes to kill on the bus. So I've been playing Pokemon and actually trying to catch up to Willie, who seems to have played like 9,000 hours somehow. I'm not really sure, but he's really far ahead of me, and I'm still not sure how that happened. So I'm now 9 hours into Pokemon as opposed to 2.5.
I think he Pokemons instead of sleeping.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't actually work, and he just plays all day, every day.
Could be.
On top of that, I have cleaned up my office, which you can kind of see because you can see the floor now. I have like this pile of garbage over here that I need to go through. But I discovered that once I clean out all of my clothes out of the drawer, and that's in a donation bag that's gonna go, there I put all my yarn in the drawers in the dresser, and I still don't have enough room for all the yarn I have, so I have a basket off to the side. What I have is a problem and a lot of yarn. So I'm not going to be buying yarn anytime soon, and everybody's getting hats or scarves or something. I'm actually working on a project for my hairstylist. We're going to do a trade. I'm going to make her a hat, specifically this style, which is a slouched beanie. It actually takes me about 7.5 hours to make this. So we're doing a trade. She's going to do my hair. I'm going to make her a hat. So, because the bartering system works.
Do you have dark green and dark red yarn?
I have. Well,
Does she have certain colors? Come on, she's got like 2 drawers of yarn.
I gotta ask.
3.5.
Oh, good Lord.
And not including the basket. I do have dark green. Right now, I'm currently making boyfriend a Power Rangers hat. Use it for, he wants the Green Ranger. So I've got that color seafoam green. I also have a dark green, and I made a Packers hat for my sister's boyfriend.
Go Pack.
Yeah.
So your hats aren't big enough. They're not going to use up enough yarn. I will take one Freddy Krueger sweater, please.
I will do my best. I've never made a sweater. So it might just be a really big hat with some holes in it.
It's a sweater that starts at the top of my head.
And just pull really hard. It'll make a hole. And
It's a Freddy Krueger tarp?
yes, basically. It'll be a Freddy Krueger tarp. More like a poncho, more than anything.
You make a poncho and then you sew the sleeves together.
Yes. Book-wise, I am listening still to Eddie Izzard, Believe Me, which is great. I have also picked up a podcast called oh god damn it.
Thank you, Steven. That was the best thing I've read this weekend.
I called the oh god, I can't even remember the name of the show now. Fuck. I'm doing my best.
Naki?
I'm doing my best, guys. It's the something sessions. Fuck. Apparently Chris wants a banana hammock.
Evidently, I do.
Yeah, he does.
I have yellow yarn. Do you want it to be yellow?
Well, of course, it's a banana hammock. It has to be yellow.
I have different shades of yellow. But
that was good. That was good.
This podcast is about is a therapist recording her sessions with her patients. Her patients all have different abilities. So one has ability. So when she has a panic attack, she travels through time. Another one has extreme empathy. He's actually dealing with feelings for another man and not realizing that he was gay type thing. It's really interesting. There's another girl who hears everybody's thoughts, but she's been calling them the angels. She doesn't know of anything other than that.
Extreme empathy would be a shit superpower.
Oh, it's like the things he talks about where he's like, this girl came to ask me out, and all I could feel was the butterflies in her stomach. The Bright Sessions, that's what it's called. The Bright Sessions. It is on Spotify. But it's really interesting. And it actually is written with a therapist, so they would know how to properly react and everything like that. And there's like 5 or 6 different patients that you hear the ongoing stories of. One is called Damien, and I haven't actually gotten to his sessions yet, but she is terrified of him. So
it's all for you, Damien. It's all for you, Damien.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what I've been getting into.
Makes you think of the Misfits, where their superpowers were really weird. Like the guy that could time travel, but he had to time travel to an event that he regretted.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds like 3rd grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, high school, college, just relived over and over again.
The first season of the Misfits, if people haven't seen it, it's the UK doing a much better version of Heroes. If people in the real world got weird superpowers, how they would actually react. And Misfits is on Hulu now, so it's worth seeing. And the first season also has the guy, Ewan Reis. He's one of the ones from Game of Thrones that has a super weird name. He was the bastard, the one he's the nerdy solo good guy from the first season of Misfits. So if you watch Misfits now, it'll probably mess with your head that he's the nicest guy on the show.
He's actually a really nice guy in real life.
Well, Game of Thrones messes my head because he says a nice guy on that show, and then I watch him on Game of Thrones. I'm like, oh my god, he's awful. He's a really good actor.
So what he's done is the Gary Oldman.
Yeah. Because he's actually got to that point where like you actually almost dislike him as a person because he plays a character so well.
Man, Gary Oldman is one of those people that it's like, oh, that's Gary Oldman. Shit, that was Gary Oldman.
I can't believe he's Winston Churchill right now in a movie.
Right?
And I'm like, that's Gary Oldman.
Well, and the movie comes out and 2 days later gets Oscar noms. Like, oh well, it's Gary Oldman in makeup. Well, of course it's going to get an Oscar nomination.
Exactly. And as we sign off, the chat room did ask us to point out the fact that the first shots of Brie Larson in costume as Captain Marvel are out. You can go see them for yourself. Those of you guys that are complaining because the colors aren't right, don't worry. Have you not seen a Marvel movie before? They never start with the iconic costume.
How many people already had to write articles explaining that?
It's clickbait,
people need to shut the fuck up. It's oh my god, it's the first picture.
We're getting a Captain Marvel movie. I'm happy.
Exactly. I wouldn't care if she was wearing a cardboard box and a bag over her head.
Well, I would, but
we'll just bypass that one and keep going. I think.
Hey, Brie Larson's cute in anything.
Well, guys, don't forget the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast streams live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over on Geeks.live, the official streaming home of the Gonna Geek Network. In addition to that, we also stream on a variety of different streaming services like Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, Periscope, Stream Me, and probably some other stuff I'm forgetting. So if you're seeing us chatting, feel free to just come on over to Geeks.live and use the embedded chat room there. But I think that is going to wrap us up. Don't forget you can hang around on Geeks.live today. I believe at 1 p.m. Eastern is Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Then at 6 p.m. Eastern, the Starling Tribune recapping this week's Arrow. And finally at 9 p.m. Eastern today is Popback's Cast. So we've got a boatload of stuff going for you guys. Please feel free to check it out. Do you guys have any final thoughts for us as we wrap things up?
I lied. I'm the better Willie.
Whoa.
Oh.
Shots fired.
I can't top that. Let's get out of here.
I think we should probably just start rolling the credits then, because Naki has asserted that she is the better Naki than Willie.
I said I'm the better Willie.
Oh, she said she's the better Willie.
Oh, shit. I misheard it. Yeah, she got a silver medal. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGNpodcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.